Thank you for your statement. We also have 1 minute statement from the civil society. I give the floor to the civil society. I now like to give the floor to environmental NGO Khan. Please, you have the floor.
Chair, thank you, Chair. My name is Asad Rehman from Friends of the Earth International, a member of Climate Justice Now. Chair, we had 3 acid tests for this COP. Will Doha deliver any real emission reductions? And the answer is no. Will Doha deliver the public finance desperately needed for those affected by climate change and to help the transformation required in developing countries? The answer is no. Will Doha ensure that future global climate agreement is ambitious and equitable? The answer is no. Chair, civil society came here to save the planet and its people, not just to save a process that locks in a decade of inaction. Chair, you call this text the Doha Gateway. It is right to be called a gateway to 4 degrees warming, a gateway to climate inaction, a gateway to climate deaths, and a gateway to climate injustice. Chair, we will not be complicit with this text. We reject this text. Chair, civil society groups and social movements are now sending a strong and clear message to all governments. Deliver for the people and planet, or we will name and shame you. Chair, it is absolutely clear that our only hope is mobilising in our millions across the world, transforming our energy and food systems, challenging the power of dirty industry and building a powerful climate justice movement to hold our politicians accountable and prevent the planetary crisis. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for your statement. I would now like to give the floor to the environmental NGO CGN and the youth NGO for a joint statement. You have the floor.
Mr. President, this statement is from Climate Action Network. Thank you, Mr. President. Honourable Ministers, distinguished delegates, my name is Simon Tapp from the Climate Action Network. We would like to express our sympathy for those vulnerable countries affected most by climate change, including those currently experiencing the effects and aftermath of Typhoon Bopha. We have had enough. In Doha, we have lacked mitigation ambition and money on the table to help the poorest countries deal with climate change. We have seen no detailed work plan on equity. We will not achieve what is desperately needed unless parties find political will. In particular, countries including the US and friends, along with Poland and Russia, who continually block the process, need to start leading to end this global crisis. Your behaviour and attitude must change if we are to secure a fair, ambitious and binding deal by 2015. Hard work by governments for the people, not the polluters, is urgently needed. Thank you.
I thank you for your statement. Now, I would like to give the floor to the Trade Union NGOs.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of trade unions, we would like to share with you our disappointment with the outcome. The message going to workers today is that green and decent jobs will have to wait until real ambition comes back to this process. We do not see any ambition in the text, and it seems that some countries want even less. As we did not stop repeating for the past years, there will be no jobs in a dead planet. But allow me to say that there will not be a just transition with this outcome neither. We want to thank the governments that supported to have just transition in the text. But unfortunately, the more we wait for having emission reductions objectives and funds for finance, the more the transition will be unfair. We need time to put in place the social policies to help working people fully participate in a sustainable economy. Delays will make our task difficult, almost impossible. In order to be just, the transition must start now. The international labour movement will work to mobilise working people to make their voice better heard and shift government's position on climate change before 2015. This is not just a pledge, this is our commitment. Thank you very much, President.
I thank you all for your statement. I will now close this joint meeting. Sorry, I have one, I miss it. I would now give the floor to YOUNGO. You have the floor.
Can you send...
Chair, my name is Merna from Egypt, and I'm speaking on behalf of YOUNGO. This deal is an insult to the world, most vulnerable, and to the future generations. The Doha Gateway leaves the door wide open to irreversible climate change and slams the door shut on equity. The most vulnerable and the least responsible will suffer greatly from this unjust, unambitious, and inequitable deal that completely undermines the objective of the Convention and the possibility for achieving equal access to sustainable development. What have you done? You have failed to deliver in providing adequate financing, ambitious mitigation targets, and international mechanisms that address the compensation for loss and damages. Instead, we are leaving with a text that is as empty as the Green Climate Fund. Your decision here will affect the lives of millions. This is tyranny on global scale. Developed world, how many people are going to have to die before you take this seriously? How dare you self-congratulate for all the great work while committing to offensively low mitigation targets? How dare you talk about trust when you have shattered so many agreements? It is clear from today's events that this process is broken. Business as usual is no longer an option when it comes to both the climate and this decision-making process. No justice, no deal.
Thank you for your statement. I thank you all for your statement. I will now close this joint meeting and turn to the final matters under the COP and the CMP.